Hello, I'm Phil Richardson, and I am the DM of a couple of D&D groups, and this is a video for my first session of the Marquet campaign that I'm running. The players in this campaign, a quick introduction of them. Before I go there, these players were all playing in another campaign before I started DMing for them, so they are actually bringing over characters that know each other and kind of have like a commonality between four of them. There is another character that started with this campaign. So with all that said, the characters that are coming over from the previous campaign are played by Anthony, who is a Tabaxi Grave Cleric of the Raven Queen named Clawhammer. We have Mike, who is playing a Harengon Ranger named Joe Cool. Heather, who is playing a Dragonborn Sorcerer named Eli. And Ramsey, who is playing a Triton Wizard Noble named Domos. So those four characters were traveling through this grueling desert and hunting scorpions. And the scorpion, I guess, carcasses are worth money. So they were traveling to this open air market in the desert, this oasis area. And that's where we pick up whenever I start running the campaign. The caravan they were a part of arrives in Despair's Respite, which is an oasis, kind of old Western feeling town with like a main thoroughfare with, some buildings set up, some tents. And the notable thing about this town is the oasis itself is a large fountain, magically imbued to have a geyser in the middle. Not like a crazy 40-foot geyser, but just, a normal, typical fountain like you would see in, New York City or somewhere like that. And they get there. They don't realize at first, but the city this small oasis town has turned into kind of a ghost town. There's really no one around. So upon arriving and seeing the fountain, Joe, the Harengon Ranger, starts running to the fountain. Before he gets there, this old woman with leathery, extremely tanned, dark skin and lots of wrinkles, she comes from around the fountain shaking this lamp with like this purple smoke kind of billowing out of it, speaking some foreign language. So they stop, and the woman eventually reveals herself as Sabira, the leader of a tribe called the Kansu tribe, who are these nomadic people who live in the desert and forage and gather materials and make goods, where they travel into this oasis town and trade and sell goods as a way of living their lives. And she reveals that about 3 days ago, her tribe arrived, and shortly thereafter, everyone started to become excruciatingly sick and ill in the town, as well as her tribe members. And it was due to the water of the oasis being poisoned or carrying some disease. And there was only a few that were unaffected. One of them was a daughter of her tribe who was sent to the source of the oasis to figure out the issue. So the source of the oasis for the Kansu tribe is a very sacred place. So they sent this daughter, and the Sabira asks the Tabaxi and Harengon to follow the oasis to its source to meet the daughter of the tribe and help her in solving the issue. Heather and Ramsey actually didn't come to the first session, but their characters, Eli and Domos, elected to stay back in Despair's Respite and help in whatever the way they could, and whether it be defending the town or helping aid in taking care of the sick people that are not dead yet. A lot of the town and a lot of the tribe have passed away at this point, so it is urgent that they help solve this issue. So Joe and Clawhammer arrive to this cavernous opening where the narrow river of the oasis leads inside. It's about an hour or two travel for them to the source of the oasis. And upon arrival, they see this drow woman in some tribal wrappings, and as they arrive, they see this drow woman, and she is being attacked by a giant scorpion, which is the specialty of Joe and Clawhammer. So they immediately run into battle and start helping her. The woman is also being attacked by 4 dust mephits that are swarming her, helping the scorpion to take her down so they have a free meal as well. The battle ensues, and the dust mephits and giant scorpion are slain by the now party of 3. It is revealed that the drow barbarian is Carol, played by Carol. Her name is Shashi, the character drow barbarian, who is a member of the Khonsu tribe and was sent to investigate the reason for the oasis poisonous waters. They go inside the cave, very cavernous. They end up finding a crawl space. As they crawl through, it is revealed that through that crawl space, the cave has been collapsing over time, and it was actually somewhat of a shrine, or maybe even an ancient, temple or something like that, because there is, worked stone floors and worked walls and ceilings in places where the cave is not collapsed in. A little ways ahead, they find 4 sarcophagi with daises sticking up about 4 inches off out of the ground in the center of the sarcophagi that are surrounding this room. The sarcophagi all have moon symbology, which the Khonsu tribe is they all worship the moon. And as they're investigating, they end up having the Clawhammer ends up standing on the daises, and whenever they do, they shift and sink into the ground. And after all have sunk into the ground, a door is revealed on the far wall, and the sarcophagi come open, and mummies come out. Only 3 mummies. There's 4 sarcophagi. 1 was empty, and the other 3 had mummies in them. So after battling with the mummies, which was a terrifying battle, one of the mummies actually hit Clawhammer and I think did like 17 points of damage out of his 18 existing hit points, and cursed him with mummy rot. So he was unable to heal afterward. So after they defeated the mummies, they opened the doors that were revealed, and inside they see this, for lack of better description, a birdbath style, stonework with water just magically flowing out of it, which is the source of the oasis. And beyond that, in this small 10 by 10 room, there is another mummy, a little bit larger than the ones that they defeated, who is actually hung on the wall. There's like these metal hooks that come out, and he's hung up on the wall, not impaled by the hooks, but just hung, and his hands are gripping this large Egyptian axe with like a half moon blade. And the mummy's hands are actually wrapped. The wrappings of the mummy are wrapped around the pole of this Egyptian axe. And so this is the scene, and there's this green crystal that is floating above the bird bath. So this green, like emerald style crystal is just magically floating there. I forget who it was, but someone approached and plucked the crystal, and nothing happened. So they, I think it was Joe that grabbed it, and then he looks at it, and he, I'm no grave robber, he says. So he goes and holds it above the bird bath to place it back, lets go of it, and the crystal actually falls into the water of the bird bath. It doesn't magically float there. And whenever that happens, the water becomes a crystal clear blue and begins to flow naturally again. And they test it out and drink it, and it's like the best water they've ever had. It tastes like Fiji water. And they, whenever they drink it, Clawhammer is cured of his mummy rot, and it is determined, so they fill up that this is good. They determine, this is good. This is how we're going to cure the people. So they fill up their water skins with this water. They all start to leave, but Joe turns around and looks at the mummy holding that axe and says, he just feels, his hairs kind of stand on end, that the axe is magical. So he goes and he cuts the wrappings from the mummy's hands, and as he does, the mummy, the lifeless form of the mummy, becomes alive and grips the axe and refuses to let go of it and rips himself off the wall. And they just book it out of there. They don't even try this. The mummy chases them to the crawl space. They crawl through. The mummy's unable to get through, and they just quickly run back to town. They end up running back to town, saving all of those that are not dead already. As soon as their lips touch the water that they've brought back, they're instantly healed of what is now discovered as mummy rot. So mummy rot was poisoning the entire waterways. So all of the townspeople are healed. And then they did a little bit of exploration in the town and discussed some potential opportunities. So one thing is, whenever they revived the sheriff of the town, the sheriff instantly, as soon as he has enough energy, gets up. His name is Asim. Asim gets up and runs to the local jailhouse in this small oasis town. And inside one of the jail cells is this man who is, he has manacles over his arms, metal manacles that even cover his hands, so he can't even move his hands. He has this leather mask on that covers his mouth, and it looks like, it's strapped to where his mouth can't open. And Asim pulls out this letter, this writ that says this man is wanted for questioning in the Dwendalian Empire and is to be taken to the city of Ankh-Harel in Marquet to a local magistrate named Dabir. So once turned into Dabir, there's a reward that is going to be given, and it's revealed by the sheriff that some wizard type was delivering this criminal to the Empire, but drank the water and became ill and died. So the group has the opportunity now to finish this job, to take this prisoner to the magistrate in Ankh-Harel, which is, a few hours away from this oasis town. They also have the ability, so they meet, Clawhammer meets this young girl who was on a vacation with her mother, and Clawhammer meets this young girl. Her mother has died from the mummy rot poisoning, but the young girl was saved, and she reveals that her father lives in Zadash and is asking for help getting to Ankh-Harel and then taking a skyship back to the Menagerie Coast in Wildmount to get back to her father in Zadash. So the group has two different potential opportunities ahead of them, two options. They don't have to do either one, but it seemed interesting to them that these two things, two birds, one stone sort of thing, both paths are leading them to Ankh-Harel, the large capital city of Marquet, and we will see what happens the next time we play. So they have, again, this young girl, Emilia, who needs transported back to her father in Zadash in the Dwendalian Empire. And then they have this criminal who is wanted for questioning and punishment. And they find out that criminal is wanted by the Cerberus Assembly ultimately. So they have some potential to make some gold that way as well. So again, we will see what happens next time. And I'm excited for Heather and Ramsey to join us, and we'll see what goes on. So thanks for watching, and more videos to come as far as campaign diaries. This was for my Marquet start campaign. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.